With that, I'm going to call up, please, Robert Klavins and McKenna Fischer, please. And before they start, committee members, just a reminder that in order for us to be able to clear our calendar before we start on Senate bills and for us to get all of our agenda over to the Senate, you received a notice, and we more than likely may have to be having a short session this evening, and I just wanted to remind you of that so that you can be thinking about that for the next few minutes. With that, Beth, if you'd please, no, we're good. Welcome to our committee. Good morning.
Thank you. Excuse me, Representative Witt, or Chair Witt, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Rob Klavins. I'm the wildlife advocate for Oregon Wild. For a number of reasons, including that I'm losing my voice, I'll keep it very, very short. And suffice it to say, as the bill is currently written, Oregon Wild has to strongly oppose the bill. It goes far beyond what the wolf plan contemplated, could allow poaching to go unpunished, and bottom line, we'd prefer to focus on preventing conflict and getting back to the wolf plan we thought we had in 2005. I've submitted some written testimony on behalf of several organizations that are currently working on a settlement that would get us back there. I hope you'll take an opportunity to look at that, and I will actually leave it there, which is maybe the most concise I've ever been at this table.
Thank you very much for being so concise. Appreciate that. Good morning. Welcome to the committee.
Good morning. My name is McKenna Fischer. I've never done anything like this before, and I basically am an animal rights activist in my own free time. I spend many hours advocating for every kind of animal you can imagine, including house pets. My concern, being a layperson in understanding, I don't even know what the amendments are. All I know is that in our history in Oregon, Washington, California, and even the Rockies, we've had severe issues with complete dissemination of wolves where they've gone down to zero. My concern is that to accommodate ranchers, cattle raising people, that we constantly are killing off our wildlife to accommodate them so they can have their animals, graze on grass and not have to fear that their livestock is going to be taken by wild animals. I want to make sure that there's a strong understanding and awareness that we have to take into consideration that wildlife is part of nature and is part of what makes our earth, and Oregon especially, the great place that it is. We have to make sure that we do not go back to what happened in the late 1800s and 1900s, where we wiped out everything. And if you think about it, back then, there weren't the cattle ranchers that we have today. So for us to actually exterminate the wolf in that period of time, back in the late 1800s, it's very, very concerning that we could possibly, as this gentleman, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, mentioned, that we will end up with poachers, which we already have an issue with as it is. So the oversight that we have to have, these amendments, which I'm not familiar with, we just have to make sure that the bill strongly emphasizes protection of our wolves, and that we're not just handing out permits like they're doing in Idaho, where there's wolf hunts constantly. I mean, all across the United States, we have a free-range ability to kill as many wolves as you want. That cannot happen here. We have to maintain integrity and a morality around what our wildlife means to us, and to accommodate livestock, and I hate calling them that because they're animals to me. I just find it very concerning that we're going to lose control. And hunters are 6% of the population, and once they find out they can get a wolf tag, all bets are off. And we've seen this happen all across the United States. All you have to do is Google, and you can find out all the stories. And this includes bear hunting as well. So anyway, I have a lot of notes here, but I think I just kind of went off the cuff, and I really appreciate everyone's attention and time. And just seriously think about what our wildlife means to us in Oregon. I've lived here since 1974, raised in San Diego, and, this state means a lot to me. And I don't want to see our wolves exterminated because we need to accommodate ranchers. There's got to be some kind of middle ground that we can meet on, and rules in place that protect them. And I guess that's all I have to say. I appreciate your time,
Thank you.
Representative Witt. I'm sorry, I'm probably not being politically
Oh,
correct
you're
here, so
you're doing wonderful. In
Thank
fact,
you.
Ms. Fischer, you said that you're not accustomed to testifying, and you seem like you're a pro. So,
Well,
great job.
I do a lot of stuff online, so I appreciate your time very much. So thank you
And we
so much.
appreciate your testimony. Are there any questions or comments for this panel? I'm not seeing any. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate that. Probably have about 15 minutes here, so if you could kind of pace yourselves accordingly, I would appreciate it very, very much. Welcome to our committee.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you for holding this hearing. My name's Rod Childers. I'm the Oregon Cattlemen's WIF Committee Chairman. I'm from Wallowa County, and I would like to begin with that. I've been the WIF Committee Chair for over 5 years now, and I've worked with ranchers and with this legislative body in trying to move legislation forward that we believe that was a necessity to be able to manage wolves in this state reasonably for us as well as the agency and other Oregonians and things. I'm proud to say that even though our patience is running thin out there, we've had depredations for over 3 years now, and things that none of us have taken a wolf, and there hasn't been any illegal taking of a wolf by producers and things in this state. And that as LCA, we publicly oppose the wolf plan, and ranchers are abiding by it, and we are implementing the non-lethal measures the agency has recommended, that being ODF and W. We simply want to keep our livestock alive and out of harm's way, and we need all the tools to be available for varying circumstances. I am here to request that you pass House Bill 3452 to uphold the intentions of the wolf plan and the wildlife damage statutes, which provide authority for producers to protect livestock from predators and wildlife causing damage. This is simply the right thing to do from a standpoint of the humane treatment of animals, and upholding our private property rights and supporting our family businesses and our rural communities. Ranchers, we spend a lot of time out there trying to keep our livestock alive and helping maintain the infrastructure of our communities and things in Eastern Oregon. And we believe that we need this bill to help move that, to maintain that. OCA has always maintained the caught in the act definition in the wolf plan has been meaningless for ranchers because of the requirement for the wolf to actually be caught in the act, which means we got to catch them biting things. First, we have to have chronic depredation, and according to the wolf plan. And then if we get to that and the agency decides that they want to give us permits, what they call caught in the act permits, which there's been over the last 3 years, there's been over 70 of those permits issued in Wallowa County on just one pack of the 6 packs of wolves that we have now in Eastern Oregon. And things. Out of all of those permits that have been issued, nobody has ever caught a wolf in the act of actually biting. And that's what this permit goes beyond. This permitless take would go beyond that and allow in harassment or in the presence of our livestock, we'd be able to do it. But that, and we look at that as, something that we're working on these amendments, and we agree with that we do need to sit down and have some more discussion and things to make sure we try to respond to all of the concerns. Thanks. This is And then the Department of the ODF and W officials have also recognized that expanding the take language has not greatly increased wolf deaths in other states. Even in states where laws basically shoot on sight, livestock producers taking wolves remain a small percentage of the overall death, the lethal take of wolves. And in fact, up till through 2010, less than half of 1% of all wolves taken in the Northwest had been by producers with that caught in the act language as it's written today. So, I mean, it's not you're not going to exterminate wolves by this. You may hear surveys indicating there's public support for wolf recovery, and however, it is rarely noted that while 70% of respondents to a Defenders of Wildlife survey said wolves should be recovered to some level, 90% of them also said ranchers should not bear the brunt of costs for the wolf recovery. And minimizing the seriousness of this issue by talking about percentage of all cattle losses or numbers of all cattle in the state compared to the number of wolves now colonized in one region of our state does not accurately characterize the irreparable damage wolves are causing to several of our families over there. And they cannot sustain these types of losses and things as you go. We have the depredations, but we also have a large amount of missing livestock that occurs out there. A lot of the studies will show that we only find about 1 out of every 6 that are confirmed and things. So, and I know Mr. Williams has got a PowerPoint here that we'd like to get to, so I'd like to put the rest of my time to John.
Okay.